out and go ride. Gear, increase your visibility. Be seen by motorists up to a quarter mile away. LED-equipped, state-of-the-art sports apparel designed to offer you comfort and safety while you exercise, train, and explore the outdoors. Visit Glamour Gear today. Enter the promo code ISpeakForYou and get 25% off. That's glamourgear.com or give them a call at 619-299-GEAR.
Good.
My walker is great. Yeah, my walker is great. So, folks, we're listening to the Fit Kitchen with Simon and Jenny, and we're back.
So this candid conversation off air makes me appreciate being a cyclist.
I'm telling you.
Gonna say.
When I saw you guys yesterday and you're going, we're doing 20, I'm like, yeah, I'm running that today.
Yeah.
But no, it was one of those things when you're preparing for a big run, which we can talk about with Mitch and everything, nutritional wise. What did he eat? Because I'm interested. Because right now, like 11 o'clock at night, I'm like, God, I'm starving. And Michelle goes, because your metabolism is just
it's kicking up.
Because you're getting so much exercise. So let's talk about that. When you're doing your hundreds and your preps and everything, what did you eat? Because I feel like I can sit down and eat a Hawaiian pizza right now.
Right. I would eat everything. I mean, the real key was to keep your tank full. Don't let it run out, because people say, well, when you run a marathon, the wall is at 20 miles. Well, there is no wall and there's no limit.
Yeah.
You're going to go do the endurance run that you're going to do is 223 miles. The key to it is to keep the right nutrition and stay hydrated. If you keep your tank full, there's no limit. You can go as long as you want, as long as you're eating the right foods. What I would eat anything. I could eat Hostess cupcakes. I could eat tacos. I would come up to an aid station, anything on the table, but I would eat, starchy foods, potatoes. I would eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, peanut butter and honey. I'd eat a lot of things like that. I'd eat a box of goos. I would mix my my hydration. I would take mixes of Ultra Fuel and Cytomax, and I would just mix all kinds of crazy things. And I would mix concoctions that just changed it up, so I didn't get tired of one thing. I would mix it and take a lot of different things.
Right.
And again, the key is just keep the tank topped off and don't run out, because you normally in a marathon, if you bonk and you run out of your nutrition, you don't have enough time to recover.
Right.
If you're doing an ultra,
you do.
You've got plenty of time. If you're in a 100-miler and you've got a 24-hour time goal, or you've got a 30-hour cutoff, 5 or 6 hours you can recover.
Yeah.
The marathon, the race is over. You don't have 5 hours. The whole thing's gone.
So here's a question for you regarding that with the nutrition, because it's something I struggled with in my 24-hour run. Some of us have a hard time eating and running because it just kind of, you feel it there in your stomach. How do you know when exactly or how much to take in? So like, for instance, if it's a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, should it just be a quarter of a sandwich, a half a sandwich, or do you eat the whole sandwich?
No, usually a quarters. Every couple of miles you would eat a quarter. You'd eat everything in small portions so that you can digest it. You'll go along and you'll find the things that you can and cannot digest.
Right.
You've mentioned a pizza. Well, tomato sauce might be a little bit hot. That one might have a hard time going down.
Yeah.
You find mild things, peanut butter and honey. Those go down easy. Boiled potatoes go down really easy, and they digest quickly.
Okay.
And that's really the objective, is to find things that will digest quickly.
You figured that out in training, though, because we've talked about it on many, many shows with a lot of Ironman athletes, obviously champions and everything, is don't do something race or an event that you have not done in training.
Yeah, don't do anything.
I'm sure you tell those folks that I run as well. You can find out iRun.net online, obviously Twitter, I run. But how do you tell these folks, like you said, new runners? We all have new athletes that we work out with or we run with. They're like, I saw on the internet this. But what works for you, and we've talked about this again, what works for, Mitch, the Ironman ultra guy, won't work for me.
Right.
Or won't work for Jeannie, or,
right.
Everybody's different. Their system is different.
And so what we tell people is we say, during your training, do your testing.
Yeah.
I was a guinea pig, and I had friends that owned nutrition stores, and they would just say, hey, Mitch, try this. And I would try it. And sometimes it would be a disaster. I had a friend give me a package of magnesium. I was doing a 15-miler, and she said, here, take this. And she was always giving me supplements to take. And I took this package of magnesium, and about 13 into my 14-mile run, my stomach rolled over. And the next thing you know, I was in the woods. And I got finished. I walked in. I called her up and I said, the magnesium wasn't good. And she says, well, how much did you take? I said, I took the package. And she said, you're supposed to take 2 teaspoons. And this was probably...
And you're like, you didn't tell me that. You just gave me a package.
Turned me inside out. So you find out what works in training, because on a race day, that would have been the end of my race.
Right.
Yeah.
So you go in, and at iRun, we have a wide variety of supplements. And what we tell the people that we're training with and that we're working with, or somebody new that comes in, buy 1 or 2, try each one out on a 3 or 4 mile run. Make sure that you can digest it, make sure that you can swallow it. Some people think, well, I don't like the texture of a gel. My answer is swallow. Mm-hmm. Just swallow. Get it down. Some people want to chew gummy bears or
the shot blocks or whatever.
Shot blocks. Yeah. So there's a lot of different supplements out there that you can eat. And then the same thing with the drinks. There's Guru, there's Noon, Accelerate, Ultra Fuel. There's all different types of things, and some people get along better with some than others. Mm-hmm. And so you just say, test them, try them out along the way, buy 1 or 2 at a time, buy sample packs, get samples.
Right. And I think something else to do, and I've tried to do this with Jeannie a lot, is find out who's sponsoring the race. Is it Herbalife? Is it Gatorade? Is it Powerade? Because if you run out of your own fuel and you're relying on theirs, don't wait till the first day to try Powerade or Herbal or whatever it is on the course. So if you know, particularly if you're doing a longer race like an Ironman, or find out what supplements are going to be on the course and experiment with them. Right. And at least get your body conditioned to it. So, and also like for Gatorade, mix it up with different consistencies, because not every bottle of Gatorade or tub of Gatorade out on the course is going to be the perfect, because there's some guy at 4 o'clock in the morning mixing up with a drill and a hose, so it may not be exactly what it's supposed to be. Yeah, right. So play around with different things. So to your point, don't try it new.
Yeah, that's a very good tip. If you can find out what the drink is at a race, you might get some of it and test it. If you find that you can't drink it,
right, then bring
your own, because a lot of people can't drink Gatorade all day.
Yeah,
it might make you bloated, it might parch your mouth or something, and so you'd be prepared to take your own supplements with you.
Yeah, and you got to get the right flavor, because strawberry banana power gel, I love that. I can do that all day. But if I do a cocoa or a mocha or something, like you said, my stomach turns after 2 miles. I'm like, that just totally messed me up.
And also some of them have caffeine, double caffeine, triple caffeine, no caffeine. So be aware of what you're taking.
Yep, that's so true. But so obviously iRun Texas, #1 store in San Antonio. We're so glad you guys came down. And everybody's like, well, come down. Where'd they come from? But obviously you branched off of Run On, which is up north. We know the crew up there. I've announced races for them. Incredible job. You guys came down here and just blew San Antonio away, because your training programs are top notch. And you've got qualified runners. It isn't one like, I've run a marathon. Okay, you can coach. It doesn't work that way with iRun.
Right, it doesn't. My wife has been a runner as long as I have, and she was an elite runner from Dallas. She started with Run On about 9 years ago. When she started, she was going to just work part-time so that she could go home and make dinner for me and me an early dinner ready. Well, that lasted about 2 weeks. Her part-time went to full-time. She immediately went into the management training program. We were friends with the owner, Bob Wallace, and she moved through the ranks, went into managing a store, and then became a buyer. My job transferred us here in 2009, and that's when we decided to partner with Run On and open a store here. My wife is she's a great businesswoman. She's very driven. She's very focused. I bounce all over the place. She's very in line, and she keeps all of her stuff in place where it's supposed to be. And
that's a woman.
Task oriented.
That's a woman.
She runs the store, and I'm off the floor. And she is so anyway, we in August of 2012 we decided that it was time to buy out our partner. At the same time that we decided to buy him out, he was being bought out by Run Specialty Group out of Denver, Colorado. They own the Finish Line, and they wanted to buy all the run-ons. They have a goal of opening 200 stores, and they want to buy bulk. When they buy.
It sounds like performance.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
And so when they talked to us about it, we weren't quite ready. We wanted to have 4 or 5 stores before we sold, and so we opted out of the purchase. And when we did that, they said, okay, fine, you're going to have to drop the name Run On. We were at a dinner party with some friends and came up with the name I Run, changed the branding on it, and
I love
here we
it.
are. We're opened our second store now, and so we're I Run and loving it.
I noticed because you're sponsoring me for my big run. I was wearing the shirt when I was doing a 10-miler the other day, and people were honking at me. I was like, wow, they must love me.
Because you were running in the middle of the street. You were
that's because I was
to put your shorts
I was
on again?
delirious. Yeah, I was delirious running up 1604 on the actual 1604.
Yeah.
But no, I had people honking at me and go, I Run, and I was like, oh, hey, how you doing?
Thank you for the advertisement.
Oh, I know. I mean, that's what we're here for, is because when you believe in something, and Jeannie, Simon, and the listeners that we have around the world, when you believe in something, you're going to pimp it out, as I always say. But you're going to preach about it. And I've been to a lot of running stores. I know a lot of the owners. I know a lot of the staffs and stuff like that. But if they're listening to this, I'm sorry, but I Run, you've got the staff. I mean, you've got the folks that are passionate. They've been there, done that. You can walk in and have a clear feeling that they know what they're talking about.
So knowledgeable.
Oh.
And I experienced it the first time, going. I guess I bought my first pair of Newtons. Newtons. That is my running. I just absolutely love it. And I went in, and it was just amazing to me how your staff came. They knew exactly what they were talking about. I thought I knew what I wanted, but then they helped me realize exactly what I needed, and it's just priceless. You don't get that going to Academy. You don't get that.
And we go through a lot of technical training before we let our staff work with the clients. Our associates are handpicked. We don't hire, kids. We hire adults. We hire people that have a lot of running experience because we want to bring that to the table.
Yeah.
If I hire a young kid, he's going to walk up to you and say, hey, this pink shoe, I love this. Look
Right.
how cool it looks. And you're going to love it too. Well, you may have the wrong foot type. Well, we go through the exercise to make sure that you are in the right shoe. We watch you run. We watch you walk. We just, we analyze your gait to see if you have, if you pronate, if you supinate, if you're neutral. We go beyond that because we want to delve into your history. We want to find out, have you had any injuries? Have you had a knee surgery, or have you had a hip replacement? Do you have any existing injuries? Do you have any reasons that you should be, fitted in a particular shoe? We work with a lot of doctors. We do a lot of doctor referral because of that. We bring the doctors in. We do a healthcare professional night that we bring in the doctors that teach us about foot injuries and knee injuries.
Wow.
And then we partner with those doctors so that if a doctor sends you in and you need a pair of Superfeet or you need a motion control shoe, we never question a doctor.
Right.
When a doctor says, get this Superfeet, get a sole, you want to get into a Brooks Beast or whatever type shoe you want to have to cure your injury. If we don't see what that doctor says, we'll call the doctor and talk to them and confer with them to make sure that we see what he sees, and then we go forward and say, "Yep, that's what."
Yeah, you don't get that a lot.
That's
of
very
places.
thorough. And, let me mention, because for the consumers out there, I know as a consumer, I would be thinking about this too, but your prices are very competitive. Don't think that you're going to go in and just because you're going to a specialty store that you're getting all this wonderful, knowledge and experienced people behind you. Your prices are extremely competitive. And I send everybody there. Because,
thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it was funny because I was being seen in a Rossi last year. I broke my ankle and blew my Achilles out. And I saw your card, and I was like, hey, I know this place. Oh, yeah, you got to go there. You got to go there for your shoes. I mean, they were literally, you got to go to iRun. I was like, I do go to iRun. So,
Right.
And it was amazing because when I was at iRun, Rosti, who's helped so many athletes here in San Antonio. Obviously, they're helping Simon out because Simon's an old guy, and Leadville 100 is gonna be a little painful for him. But there's so many folks, and it's good you're working with doctors and everything, because I know other running stores where you go into and you're like, oh, my doctor says, oh, no. You want this shoe. Well, I'm a pronator. No.
Right.
And that's where you guys listen. Like I said, you've got the experience and know-how, and you're there.
You also get to test the shoes in the store. You get to run out on the sidewalk and have somebody look at you and say, how does it feel? How does it look? Well, I know it's a pretty blue, but I think this gray shoe is going to be actually better for you running in it. And that's...
We have to tell a lot of people, look up, not down. Don't look down at your shoes to see what they look like. Look out there and run and go by feel.
Yeah.
And, there are a lot of people that say, a lot of the men even say, you know what, I don't want that bright shoe. I want something that's black. And you say, you know what, They'll turn black soon enough. Go for a trail run on a
That's
sweaty
right,
day.
that's right,
They'll be-
that's
they'll be
right.
dirty and dark, and you won't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Just don't wash them.
He's
And
the kind of
there's so
spray
many
paint.
guys that I've talked to at race bases and everything, like, oh,